allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody could remain standing. I'd like to have a moment of silence for Gary Blash, who was our city commissioner. He was mayor pro tem. He was our interim city manager, and he was also our assessor for many years. And he passed away on January 29th, I think, if that was correct. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Clemens?
Here.
Campbell?
Here.
Dempsey?
Here.
Ford?
Here.
Hill?
Here.
Crop?
Need a motion to excuse Commissioner Krapp.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Campbell?
Yes.
Dempsey?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Menster?
Yes.
Bunton?
Yes.
Announcements, acknowledgements, and communications and reports. Does anybody have any? Seeing none. Adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Roll call.
Dempsey?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Menster?
Yes.
Bunton?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Okay, this is public participation time. This is the time you may address this body. All we ask is that you give us your name, residential address, and that you adhere to our 3-minute rule. I will say that we do have a public hearing for the adoption of a new 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan that you will also be able to speak to. So if you care to wait till that time, if that's what you're here to address. Otherwise, please come to the mic. Seeing none. Oh.
Dolores Gasiniak, 250 Euclid. I'm here tonight representing our Neighborhood Watch program. As some of you know, the leadership has been changing hands since Rosanna left, and it's still, I don't think it's stable, and it's not as strong as it used to be. And I put a lot of time and a lot of work into this organization in 7 years, and I would like to invite everyone that's listening on the cable TV tonight to make sure that they come to the meeting next Monday, February the 14th?
13.
Next Monday, February 15th, at the old St. John Hospital at 7 o'clock in the evening. The commissioners especially, I would like you to come because you do live in the neighborhood. You are Mount Clemens citizens, and just as long as that you don't come and represent yourself as the city mayor or the city manager or commissioners, this is not a political meeting. This is open to all the public. We all have something to say, and right now I have a lot to say, but I can't say it here. So I wish you would come because I really need the support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Josh Elger, 1349 Balmoral. I'm here on behalf of the Public Housing Commission. As president of the board of directors, I have some concerns over who and why the selection of the Housing Commission members. I had 2 members that were on the board, and both of them were interested in staying at the commission, and they were not reappointed. One member is very institutionalized to the history. She lives in the area and she knows the properties. The member that was left on the commission last year missed 5 meetings. The 2 other members that were not reappointed missed 4 in 1 meeting. 2015, the member that was left on the commission had 4 meetings he missed. The other 2 missed 4 and 3. The previous year, 7 and 2 for the other commissioners. It's with some concern that the members that were not reappointed. The person that was clearly doesn't care about attending the meetings. It was interesting that the member that was reappointed was made a promise to the city commission, to the previous city manager, that he would attend the meetings. According to our bylaws, that if you miss 4 meetings, you can be removed. I brought that up to the previous city manager's attention. Him and I had quite a bit of dialogue about it, and pretty much he threatened my position on the board of, says if I continue to push this issue, he could find a replacement for me also. The member that was reappointed, I just was wondering why all of them were not there. Doesn't seem like there's many people that want to work on these different commissions. All the time you're looking for people. But this member that was reappointed missed the meetings because he had previous things that were going on his Monday nights. So that was why he was not showing up. Phone calls were made, he wouldn't attend, or just no answer. We do have a call-in procedure. If the people want to call in, if they can't make the meeting, they have that option. And we did do an accommodation. We did change the meetings to Tuesday nights, so that would alleviate the other, with that commissioner's issues of not being able to attend. So I just was, kind of disappointed that we had a big changeover in the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Moving right down to the approval of minutes from previous meetings. Need a
Move to
motion?
approve the minutes of our work session and the regular meeting of January 17, 2008.
Second.
Roll call?
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunten,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes. Okay, general business, 9A, public hearing for the adoption of a new 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan. I need a motion to open public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing for the adoption of a new 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan.
Support.
Roll call?
Hill,
Yes.
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunten,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Okay, this is the time you may address this body regarding the 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan. If you have any comments? Oh, you want to read it first? Sure, go ahead. Guess you might want to know what it's about.
The city has prepared a new 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan. This plan would allow the city to be eligible for certain Michigan Department of Natural Resources grants. The purpose of this agenda item is to elicit public input on the plan. The plan has been available for public comment since December 28, 2016, and an open house was conducted on January 12, 2017. Notice of the public hearing was published in the Macomb Daily. Pending public comment, the City Commission is set to approve the plan this evening. The city is required to submit the plan to the DNR by March 1st, 2017.
Okay, now, if you have any questions. Okay, oh, sorry, Dolores.
Dolores Spaciniak, 250 Euclid. I was at the one meeting a few weeks ago with Mr. Tingley, and Mr. Ford was there. And we were talking about Shady Park and all the vandalism going on there, and that the shed over there is being terrorized, or what do you call it, destroyed. I suggested that maybe we put video cameras over there. It might slow down the ruckus that's going on, because a lot of people don't want to go there after dark, especially. But even during the day, they said that the red building there, I don't know what the name of that building is, probably the restrooms in there.
There were.
Yeah, it was terrorized a couple of times. So I think if you install cameras, bright lighting, and clean up a lot of the shrubbery there, it might help out.
Okay,
But I have no other idea.
thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I need a motion to close public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing for the adoption of a new 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan.
Second.
Roll call?
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunten,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Okay, 9B, now is the approval of a resolution adopting the 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the resolution adopting a 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan.
Support.
Okay. All yours. Did you want to read something again?
In order to be eligible for certain Michigan Department of Natural Resources grants, the city must have an approved 5-year Parks and Recreation plan on file with the state. The current plan was adopted in 2012 and expired at the end of 2016. The attached resolution, if approved, is the final step in approving the plan. A copy of the final plan has been provided under separate cover for your review.
Any questions or comments on the plan? Commissioner Menser.
First of all, this is a marvelously comprehensive plan, and I was very impressed with it. I was particularly interested in the statistics provided in the back from the residents and how they view things. And I found a couple of things that I thought were interesting. In one place, the statistics showed like a 44%, I want to view nature, and birds. And in another place, it was, what was more important was the baseball diamonds. And I find it interesting also the ranking of the parks where, and this is on page 72, the Clinton River Park received the highest score, and yet Sleepy Hollow received the lowest score. And I'm wondering about the advertisement and the promotion of some of our parks, because if you haven't been into Sleepy Hollow, I mean, that's a very marvelous place to take a walk. See a lot of, you can see wildlife down there. You can fish along the bank. It's a beautiful place, and I just hope that as we go forward with this plan, that there's equal attention paid, to all of the parks. And I was looking at the responses of issues where people felt safe or unsafe, and that's on page 81. And it was eye-opening, the parks that people felt uncomfortable in because of the type of population that is hanging out in it, mostly the homeless, or as several people say here, beggars, and that kind of I don't know, I just took note of it. But in another thing here, it talks about 64% of the respondents to this survey brought up that they would like to see more about the parks in the Clementines. So the Clementines, as you know, we voted on it every year, and every year there's, 1 or 2 votes, and I admit on occasion my vote has been negative for the Clementines. But obviously, based on these statistics, the residents are reading it. So that was an interesting eye-opener too. The other thing is when you look at the ages of the people responding on page 92, the bulk of our residents have lived in the city over 25 years. And so that you can infer some demographic information from that. And so when we do some things in this park, I think that that's a very important statistic to keep in mind. So that's all I had.
Okay. Anyone else? Commissioner Hill.
I just wanted to say that I thought it was an excellent report also. I found it very interesting, and I was quite excited to see some of the plans that are in the works for the parks, especially Shady Side, a lot of great improvements planning to be made there. I think the parks are very important to our city and a great resource, so I'm glad that we have a good plan going to maintain them and improve them.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Redo? Okay.
Just one further. I just kind of like to give a shout out to Jeff Wood for the fact that our baseball fields are already booked. Already booked. It's amazing. That tells you how popular baseball and Little League is. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, anyone else? Roll call, please.
Menser,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Okay, 9C, approval of a resolution authorizing publication of notice of intent to issue capital improvement bonds. Need a motion?
Move to approve the attached resolution of intent and direct the city clerk to publish a notice of intent to issue bonds in a newspaper of general circulation in the city.
Second.
Okay.
The city has proposed a project for the construction of a farmer's market facility in partnership with the Downtown Development Authority. The attached resolution directs the city clerk to publish a notice of intent to issue capital improvement bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. This is a requirement for bond application. The notice will be published in the Wednesday, February 15th edition of the Journal, which is a newspaper of general circulation in the city. The public will have 45 days after publication of the notice to file a petition with the city clerk requesting a vote of the electors of the city.
Are there any questions? I see that Mr. Saff from the GDA is here, who could possibly answer any questions that we can't up here. So,
Lois can go first.
I just wanted to say that I think it's a very good idea. I have been to the farmer's market in Royal Oak quite a few times, and it is used 12 months of the year, and I even went to a wedding there. So I hope that we can have something like that here in Mount Clemens.
I think that is the intent on off seasons, or in between seasons even. Yes, Commissioner Menser.
So I'm a little concerned about this. We've had a grant writer working on this for a long time, and so I'm assuming that because we're going to issue bonds, we didn't get the grant?
No,
Is that correct?
no. The bonds that she is applying for in connection with this proposed project are for some administrative costs. There's a bond for a kitchen separate from that. There are a couple of bonds.
Brick and mortar.
There are a couple of grants that she is applying for, one of which I believe would have up to $40,000 in funding for this particular proposal. It should be pointed out that our bond counsel from Miller Canfield has indicated that the application, that this notice of intent, the application for the grant, and even the bond resolution do not bind the city to actually having the bonds issued or going through with the project. That's a decision down the road. This is a necessary step if you even want to consider seeking the bonds, but it does not bind you to go through with having the bonds issued.
And when would that decision be made?
Presumably after this 45-day period in the resolution for public, for the public to, there's a procedure where if there was public opposition, they could submit a petition, and you would go through that process. It would be after that, and it would have to come before this body to give the go-ahead to bond counsel to go pursue the issuance of the bonds.
Because that's kind of not clear. There's another thing in here that I wasn't really excited about, is the fact that unless a resident successfully makes the petition, that it automatically is approved and it does not go to a vote, of the residents.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Goes to a vote of the commission.
Yeah.
Commissioner Button?
I just wanted to know if Mr. Sapp or Mickey would like to address anything or give us any words of wisdom.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Stephen Saff, Jr., 68 Clinton, Mount Clemens. This has been a project that I'm sure all of you have been introduced to at some point in time over the past year or two that we've been championing this concept. The idea would bring a 40 space shed to be constructed along Pine Street at the corner of Pine and Macomb in downtown Mount Clemens, the existing parking lot. We're excited about what that would do for us as far as bringing our farmers market downtown, not only for their Friday and Saturday events, but the Wednesday events that Michelle Weiss has been able to coordinate with them currently in the downtown. As far as the funding question, we were fortunate enough that this body allowed us to work with a professional grant writer who shook the trees, and this was the best that we could find at this time in order to finance the concept. The issuer of the bonds will be the USDA, and as far as the mechanics, as Mr. Murray referred to, this is strictly an introduction. So this is allowing the residents to be able to enter into a comment period. Sometime in the near future, after our March meeting, we'll be asking for a joint meeting, a study session with the City Commission to discuss the proposed financial arrangements and the repayment of the loan, the note.
Which will be
the
open
bonds.
to the public.
Correct. So there will be additional formal discussions between the DDA board and the City Commission. And again, this is not a binding vote at this time. This just becomes the formal kickoff, if you want to call it, to allow us to have more centered talks with the USDA going forward.
Anyone else? Commissioner Campbell?
I mean, I don't know if this is the right time to ask it, that 1.5 million, is that what it's gonna cost to build the shed?
I'm hoping it's going to be less than that. The city's engineering firm has taken the conceptual layout that we put together, and they in turn, Commissioner, priced out an engineering estimate. So I think they came up at around $1.3 million, maybe a number less than that. And of course, I think when you go to the competitive bid situation and ask general contractors to actually sharpen their pencils and put numbers down, I would hope we'd even improve upon that. Although we are seeing the increase in material costs as of late, I understand, in the construction industry. But that was a number that has been vetted in some sense, so it's going to be close to that.
After it's built, who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance of it, and where does that money come from?
Well, this is a discussion that'll be part of hopefully
That's
the
down the
study
road?
session, yeah. This is a city-owned, it will be a city-owned structure. The DDA, although will be very involved with the maintenance, the operation, there's other components that we're looking at as far as the development process for downtown. But again, the intent is to, number one, get our farmers market back downtown and give them a shed that helps them extend their period of operation later in the season, earlier in the season, and then gives us a multi-use building that is not like a formal hall.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner Menser?
So I wholeheartedly am in favor of bringing the farmers market back downtown. I'm disappointed that it ever even left the downtown area, and I really want it back in the downtown area. But I have some concerns about bonds and putting bonds together and asking the residents to take on more debt without a clear
Well, that was the
conversation.
purpose of having a conversation at a study session. Again, this is a very first step. This is not a commitment financially. This is not a commitment for construction. This is not a commitment other than to place the residents on notice that we are contemplating this and to let the USDA know that this is a starting point for the future dialogue. Again, within the next 45 days, before this 45-day period expires, we certainly hope to be in front of this body again from a study session standpoint to talk about what we perceive to be the repayment of the bonds, how that's gonna look like, where the money's gonna come from out of the DDA budget, and to let you know and discuss the options that we're concerned about.
Well, I guess it's not clear in this package in front of me that this is not a binding agreement, because there's a legal agreement attached to it that you,
I'm unfortunately not familiar with what was presented.
and there's
at
an appendix
council.
attached to it that talks about that it doesn't have to go to the voters. So that concerns me.
I would just refer you back to Mr. Murray.
That's why bond counsel Miller Canfield has assured us on two separate meetings I was present at, that this does not bind the city, this resolution, in any fashion to having the bonds issued or going ahead with the project. It's a statutory step that you have to give this notice, pass the resolution, give the notice, and the public has an opportunity to petition, if there's the requisite number of people, to tell the commission they don't want this to proceed.
I would have liked to see that language in here.
Well, I don't draft the resolutions. That's why we pay Miller Canfield $300 an hour.
The notice.
They're the experts in
I guess
they are
the-
in bonds. They're the only people that do it.
The analogy would be the fact that you've held a public hearing today for the city's adoption of a Parks and Recreation Plan. So this is a similar step to that. You're having a public hearing, you're announcing this, and that's the way I think that I would equate this. Mr. Murray, I think, does that make sense from that type of a loose?
I think also, you know, for what it's worth, my understanding is that when there is a study session, that there are going to be some comments from the administration relative to this project, as well as from the DDA.
It's not
So
a done deal.
it's- yeah.
Nobody's committed any funding to this yet. It's strictly in a discussion standpoint. And because of the nature of the proposed financing, this is a required first step.
This is required by
By state
USDA.
law.
the USDA,
No, by state law.
state law.
If you're going to ever issue bonds, you have to do this resolution as a first step for any bond project.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that I heard you say something about the DDA assuming paying for part or all of the
Obviously, yeah,
debt.
this is-
Okay, so I think that if people realize that this is a joint project between the DDA and the city isn't supplying all the money involved, I think that might be helpful.
You know, we have to have a conversation again in study session. We need to involve finance director. Linda's been involved in this in some capacity. I think that once our DDA meets again the first week of March, we'll have a better handle from the perspective of our availability of funding. And at that time, we'll probably have, again, a conversation with this body in conjunction with Linda to try to figure out, you know, does it work or not?
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes,
Menser.
Yes, with the understanding that this is not binding.
It's just yes. Can't put a clause in. Okay, thank you. 9D, confirmation of interim city manager appointment to the utilities director. I need a motion.
I move to confirm the interim city manager's appointment of Jeanette Best to the position of Utilities Director effective February 7th, 2017.
Support.
The city's utilities director position has been vacant since the retirement of Chuck Belmore in 2014. In June 2015, the city contracted with F&V Operations to oversee the operation of this department in the absence of a utilities director. Jeanette Best is administration's preferred candidate for this important role, overseeing both the wastewater treatment plant and water filtration plant. She brings a wealth of knowledge through her education and experience in this field that will be a tremendous asset to the city. Pursuant to the Mount Clemens City Charter, the interim city manager's appointment of Jeanette Best to the position of Utilities Director is being presented for City Commission confirmation. Ms. Best's annual salary will be $78,000. She will also receive a benefits package, as is the case with all city department heads.
Okay. Questions, comments? Commissioner Hill?
I have a question. I know at one time the city was having difficulty finding one individual that had the certification to do both the water and the sewer part. And so I'm assuming by the fact that this person has been nominated that she has all the correct certification.
She does, and she has the experience and is certainly capable of handling all of it. We just felt that we had many good candidates, and with the need at the utilities department, that it might be handled best by having two people, because there's so much that needs to be done there.
Is it still a possibility of hiring another person then, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
We may change some things, but Ms. Best would handle all of it, and she is capable and qualified to handle. Yeah.
Okay,
we
just
reorganize
asking for
some.
clarification, thank
Yeah.
you.
Are you?
I'm done.
Commissioner Menser?
I don't see an F1 or S1 certification. I see the Class A license, but I don't see the other certifications. And so if she doesn't have those, who will be signing those reports that go to the DEQ?
Jeff has the
There-
answer. Jeff has the answer.
Yeah.
Jeff,
There are
would you
places
please
that-
come to the mic so you may answer those questions?
Yeah, those licenses currently exist within the city staff, the F1 and the S1. Again, you know, we are looking at a possibility of changing something on the water side. You know, I had originally talked to the commission about possibly hiring two. We're trying to change some things and get some things in order, but that license does exist on the water side.
So what you're saying is we have someone with those licenses, so that's
Correct.
covered?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay. Has there been a transition plan discussed with FVOP?
Not yet, obviously.
Can't until we-
I mean, there has been some discussion with them, absolutely. As far as termination of their contract, no, obviously we wouldn't do that until, you know, we have some things in place. So.
And we have a 30-day notice provision in their contract.
Well, I guess I'm interested in the fact that, you know, our facility has been very heavily maintenance prone. Both of our facilities, since 2015, FVOP has made that pretty clear. So I just want to feel comfortable that there's a strong maintenance versus administrative background.
Yeah, I'm certainly comfortable that, you know, I've taken the candidates, all of the candidates that we interviewed. I've taken on tours of the facilities, talked about things in the facilities, talked about future needs of all of the facilities, met some of the people, and kind of made them aware of the city's intent of where we'd like to head with these facilities.
Commissioner Button?
Is there a period where F&B and Ms. Best will be working at the same time, kind of a breaking in period or introduction period?
Correct, and that's, again, why, you know, we wouldn't do that termination process or you know, get out of that contract, so that there was a time frame for a utilities director to work with F&B and be brought up to date.
As part of the contract. Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Okay, Approval and purchases of payments and invoices.
Move to approve purchases and payment of invoices as presented.
Second.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Roll call.
Ford,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes. City managers report.
The next regular city commission meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 21st, 2017, at 7 p.m. due to the city offices being closed on Monday, February 20th, in observance of President's Day. Refuse pickup will remain on schedule throughout the month. The work session that was scheduled to take place on Monday, February 6th, has been postponed until Monday, March 6th, 2017. The meeting will begin at 6 p.m. for discussion regarding the assessment of energy, utility, and operational efficiency at city buildings by Johnson Controls. The city has created a Facebook page to provide yet another venue for residents to gain information. Please look us up at City of Mount Clemens-Government and like us. On behalf of the city, I would like to thank the Clinton River Watershed Council and especially all of those who made a donation to the MacArthur Park Clinton River project. The goal of $60,000 was reached by the deadline. We look forward to the development of this project and the new opportunities it will bring to this community. And I just want to say welcome to Jeanette Best as our new Utilities Director as of tomorrow.
Any questions? Commissioner Campbell.
This isn't from this, but it was the update that you gave us regarding the Fraser sinkhole. I've had a couple of people asking me with regards, because they read in the paper about we're going to be taking on some of this, and that they wanted to know if that we're getting paid for this, and if it's going to be the same rate that we would be paying. And they also want to know, is our system going to be able to handle it in light of the age and all the water breaks that we've had here?
Yeah, Jeff will address that.
So, yes, we will be getting paid. We actually already have a contract with Macomb County, and so it will, this additional will be, there will be another temporary contract agreed upon, but we already have a rate structure already set up. Yes, we have some extra capacity at the plant that will allow us to take some of this. And again, we're putting some agreements in order so that it doesn't cause any problems to any of the homeowners along the way. So
Since 2004, the county has purchased excess capacity from the city. And we do have, we're at about 60% capacity with our waste treatment.
yeah, something like that.
Something like
We're-
that. So we, there's plenty of capacity for them to purchase, and they have been purchasing a small amount for the last 12 years. So, and they do pay, I believe they pay, there's a rate they pay, and I believe it's more than what residents pay.
Correct, yes.
Commissioner Hill.
Is there any construction that's going to be involved in tying them into our system?
Not anything major, not any major construction. It consists of putting like a bulkhead in a pipe at a specific location and some pipe or some pumps at a different location within a manhole, but no real construction.
Nothing major?
No.
And
They
the county.
they already have, in 2004, there was construction, and it comes from the Clinton Township line that comes in to our line at Joy, out on Joy.
So the construction, though, is the county, or their
right,
engineering
yes, yes.
is doing that, the
Right,
city is not.
Right.
So there's
yeah.
no extra
There would be no
cost
no
occurred.
cost to the
Okay.
city, right.
But essentially, they're coming right into what already exists. It is because we've been selling this capacity for 14 years, the majority of what's needed is already there.
Gonna need a slinky through there.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Commissioner Bunton?
Since we are functioning at a 60% capacity, is there a chance we can make it a permanent thing, that we can make money out of this?
Well, there's always a possibility, and of course, once we get there, that discussion will take place, I'm sure.
We've had discussions along the years with the county relative
This might be
to that.
something to urge them to look our way, though.
Well, they were before.
They
Okay.
can, there's a
Sounds
certain
good.
percentage, am I correct, that they can divert from Detroit to us?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
So, can't take it off, but certain percentage, so. Anyone else? Okay. No other questions? I guess we'll have commissioner comments, and since Commissioner Campbell started it, we might as well continue with him.
Two things I do want to say that I will miss Commissioner Blash. He stopped by my house many, many times while I was outside, and I knew it was him pulling up because his van had the chairman license plate on it. And we agreed on 99% of the things. The only thing we never agreed on was the St. Joe's Hospital thing. But I will miss him very much. Also, today is me being a government teacher. 65 years ago today, Queen Elizabeth came to the throne. So 65 years later, she's still there. She's 90 years old, and this year she celebrates her 70th wedding anniversary. So something to be said for continuity. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hill?
I'd also like to pay my respects to Gary Blash. He was very knowledgeable, and he contributed a lot to our city commission discussions. I'd also like to say how happy I was to hear that the MacArthur Park Clinton River project reached the goal of $60,000 by the deadline. I think that's a very exciting project, and I'm happy that we will now qualify for matching funds, so that's great. Also happy that we have hired a utilities director. Look forward to a long and happy association. I'd also, well, again, like to say how much I liked the Parks and Recreation Plan and how important I think it is. I also want to mention that February is Black History Month, and by way of recognizing some important contributions that African Americans have made in the United States, I'd like to recommend that anybody who has not seen the movie Hidden Figures go and see it. It is excellent, and you know, that was some important work that was being done that we never knew about until just recently. And I'd also like to give another Martin Luther King quote. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And with that, I will say have a good evening and a great week.
Thank you. Commissioner Menser?
A couple things of interest. The Alexander Macomb chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution have nominee for Mount Clemens High School for the High School Good Citizenship Award, and the scholarship contest is Crystal Bryant of the Mount Clemens High School. So congratulations to her on that achievement. The County of Macomb is offering income tax preparation assistance at no cost to county residents and veterans. The guidelines are $35K or $35,000 for single, $54,000 for families, and that's going on at the Family Resource Center over at Washington School on North Rose. They're doing it Tuesday, Wednesday from 9 to 8, Saturdays from 9 to 2, pretty much a walk-in. This is tax preparation at no cost to you. They're also offering right now free radon testing. For those of you who don't know, radon is second to smoking as the leading cause of lung cancer. It's an odorless, colorless, radioactive gas that occurs naturally in soil and rocks. So if you have a basement, please go over to the Macomb County Health Department, right there on Elizabeth, and ask them for a free radon kit. Michigan State University over at the Verkulen Building is holding the 14-week Master Gardener Training Program. It covers trees, shrubs, flowers, fruits, vegetables, soil, water, pests, indoor plants, and lawns. There is a cost to it, and you do have to put in 40 hours of volunteer service to your community. It starts on March 6th, and if you can't grow your tomatoes, like I can't grow my tomatoes no matter what I've done, this class will teach you how to fix that. So you can sign up at the Verkulen Building, or you can call 586-469-6440. Another little piece of good news, the Detroit Free Press published a guide. Residential property values in the city of Mount Clemens went up 7.38% in 2016. That's a good thing. It means our community is starting to increase the value and bring in more residents. And so where have I been in the last month? It's kind of been a light month, but I've been to some new places. I went to Gabriel's uptown, the little vacuum shop. That guy has everything in there. You need anything for your vacuum? Go in and see him. I went to Wilson's. I did not have the fish dinner. I had their tacos. They were awesome. I've been to Bass City. I've been to John's. I have gone to the Anton Art Center now twice. They have a great exhibit right now on Selfridge and a lot of history there. And if you don't know, this is Selfridge's centennial year in our community. So please stop in and see that. And I visited a new salon, Chaos, right down across from the Anton Art Center. So happy February.
Thank you. Commissioner Bunton.
Okay. For those who are avid football fans and you watched the Super Bowl game last night, you were entertained by a great game, no matter whose side you were rooting for, and no matter how much money you may have lost. If you missed the ice sculpture display downtown this past weekend, you missed a treat. It always fascinates me how they can take a chainsaw, which I can barely use to cut a tree down, and create such beautiful works of art. The chainsaws and the tools that they use just amazes me. Congratulations and welcome to the Mount Clemens community to our new Utilities Director, Janet Best. With water and wastewater concerns in the surrounding municipalities, we are pleased to have a very qualified person to take charge of our precious water assets. Also, thank you very much to the V&F operations for bridging the gap while we selected a new utilities director. We appreciate all that you did, V&F. I keep saying F and B.
F&B.
FVOP.
F&B. We call them F&B.
It is F and B, huh? Okay,
Yeah, you were right. You were fine.
All right. We'll move right along. All righty, and next, Heart Month, Health. February 3rd is the official day for RED, but the whole month is dedicated to recognize the need for everyone to maintain a healthy heart. Go see your doctor, get checked out, do things that are healthy to your heart, especially get in your exercise. February is the month that we celebrate some of the unknown, obscure accomplishments of Black Americans to the fabric of the American culture. I will take a moment and point out just a few, one of which is George Alcorn, inventor of the imaging X-ray spectrometer, a device that helps scientists better understand what materials are composed of when they cannot be broken down. Receiving a patent for his method in 1984, Alcorn's inclusion of the thermal migration of aluminum, and I have no idea what that means, in the spectrometer was regarded as major invention by the experts in the field. The invention led to Alcorn's receiving NASA's Inventor of the Year Award, so that's pretty high recognition. Otis Boykin, inventor of the electric resistor. He received his first patent in 1959 for a wire resistor that allowed a precise amount of electricity to flow to a component. 2 years later, he created an even better resistor that could be manufactured inexpensively and withstand extreme temperature changes and shock. A version of his resistor was used in the invention of the pacemaker. Dr. Patricia Bath, in 1985, she invented a specialized tool and procedure for the removal of cataracts with laser phaco probe and procedure. Dr. Bath increased the accuracy and results of cataract surgery, which had previously been done manually with a mechanical grinder. Anyway, those are three people that people probably don't know much about, but they were very instrumental in a number of the things that we use even today. And I guess those of us who are older remember the transistor radio. I'm sure that that was generated from the fact that resistors were invented by Otis Boykin. I also would like to give condolences to Mary Blash and the Blash family. As you know, Gary used to sit right next to me, and actually I considered him a friend, and it was hard for me to even see him deteriorate to the point that he did. So, Mary, I'm sorry I didn't come by more often, and that was a protection of my own because I watched my father degenerate to a point where he was not very mobile as well. So, to the family, God bless and keep you. Commissioner Wisdom for the night. Our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. I don't know what my teeth are going today. We have guided missiles and misguided men and women. And with that, we'll say good night.
Thank you. Commissioner Ford.
I'd like to thank Jeff Woods for his quick service on Robinson. Once more, Robinson Street. Nice job. Mr. Tingley, is there any way that the citizens can get a copy of the code book for blight?
It's online.
It's
online.
online.
So,
It's on the city's webpage.
so that's what I tell the people, city webpage?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want it to be nice, you could print it off for them.
That would
No,
cost you.
no.
Don't want to be that nice, apparently.
It's really long.
Anything else, Mr.
Can't be.
Ford?
No, that's
No?
it, thank you.
Okay. Well, as usual, everyone has said what I was going to say, no, except the travels. But I do have a public announcement and a few other things. First off, chili cook-off was great. 3 Blind Mice won again. I think this is the 3rd year in a row for the 3 Blind Mice. Thank you for all the restaurants that participated. I heard the chili was great all over town that night. I just was stuck as a chili bouncer at Bath City, and everything went fine. I didn't have to bounce anybody, so. They all came in. They know me by now. They all show their wristbands right away. If you notice, the gazebo is lit up in red, and that is for February Health Heart Month, and especially for women, because women have different symptoms than men do, and we want them to be aware. There's a lot of information out there, and get your checkups. So we are supporting the Heart Health Month by lighting up our gazebo red and reminding everybody when they drive by. The Mount Clemens Community School District, they will be holding our kindergarten roundup, or their kindergarten roundup event in Seminole Academy on the 100 Mulberry. The event is open to the public for parents for preschool students who will be entering kindergarten, and this is in kindergarten in September of 2017. The Kindergarten Roundup event will be held on February 23rd at 6 p.m. at Seminole Academy. So I just wanted to shout out for that, and congratulations, Ms. Best. I'm glad you're on board. We hope you have a long and happy future here at Mount Clemens. We welcome you. And with that, I think you covered everything else.
Just repeat it.
Just repeat it. I guess that's it. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting adjourned.